Hello, everybody. My name is Fred Cook. I am the Director for the Center of Public Relations. I'm also the Chairman Emeritus of Golan Public Relations, and I'm also a professor at the Annenberg School. In my role as the Director of the Center, we do research every year that is relevant to the communications industry. And most recently, we've been studying polarization. When we talk about polarization, we're looking at the divide in our country, which has never been more permanent and more toxic, between people on the left and people on the right. And we're trying to figure out exactly how polarized the country is, whether that is getting better or worse, and what issues are driving that level of polarization. Polarization is essentially a communication problem. When we asked people whether they thought now that Biden was president, would polarization be reduced in the country? Journalists, PR professionals, and American citizens all said no. 85% of all of them thought polarization would stay the same or increase. So we thought, well, let's look into this a little more deeply and figure out if that is actually true. So we undertook a year-long project with USC Annenberg, Golan Public Relations, Signal Labs, using the Ad Fontes media chart. Instead of just simply asking people what they think in a survey, we used artificial intelligence to study what they're actually doing with information on social media. We looked at 60 million different social media shares from 450 media outlets across 10 different issues. It looks at the media across the spectrum that are driving the conversations, both on the left and the right. It looks at the reliability of those media to tell whether the information they're disseminating is correct or incorrect. And then by calculating the engagement on the left side and the right side on social media, we can see the gap on every issue. And that gap is what we call the polarization between these two poles. And what we found is that immigration is the most controversial, polarizing topic in America today. Over the past 12 months, it has continued to rise, reaching the very top levels of polarization scoring on our scale. That means that immigration has become a trigger point for the right in terms of the political strategists and the media that want to get people excited about a topic. They go to immigration. And we see the visuals on television of migrants gathered at the border or in detention centers. They raise the level of polarization and the level of engagement on this particular topic. And it is as though we talked for 4 years about building a wall between Mexico and the United States. Now I think the topic of immigration is really building a wall between one half of our country and the other. So we think this is a perfect topic for Annenberg to tackle, not only from an academic point of view, but from a practical point of view. We want to help businesses who are thinking about getting involved with these activist issues, give them a better view of what they're getting into, what this climate looks like, what is going to happen if they bring up immigration or gun control as a topic that's important to them. How are their customers going to react? What are their employees going to say? What is the media going to do? These are all things that businesses are thinking about, and we're trying to help them with another tool that'll give them some insight into this very complex communications landscape that we're all living in.